things are growing. Got a lot of the broccoli coming up here. I don't know if you can see it all. There's a weed. More over here. Coming up in there. More over here. You can see through the netting. And over here. Ooh, lots going on. More new broccoli seeds coming up there. Oh, it's all doing pretty well. These are doing really well over here. Excellent. And the olives are coming on really well. Still tiny, but this is the start of the olives growing. There's a goat calling to its mother, which is coming. There's the mother coming. It's the baby goat. It stopped to eat on the way. It stopped to eat. The baby is just there. Underneath the goat garden. Lovely there. Some chard and some peppers, some dill, peppers, some purslane, some coriander, lots of tomatoes, which I have shown that I had to stake them all up. The Coptic storm. And fill over. Tomatoes growing on there. And then I recently put some chilli in here. There's Kit, come to say hello. And then down here we have, oh, big tomatoes here, bunches. Here we have some lettuce and some Malabar spinach coming up in the corner. And rocket starting to go to seed now. And my parsley that I harvest so much from this parsley. And the Kit. Is following me around everywhere. This is tour with Kit. And in the chillax area, the oleander are in bloom. The red trumpet plant is growing really well to cover up the side of the old birdhouse where the previous owner used to have some birds. And behind this oleander, I'm going to let this bush out because that's the back of the compost area. And these need a bit of water. There's chard that I didn't put in there, and the grapevines are doing really well. That's Kit, you can hear. And the plant I put there, this is lemon geranium, so that stops bugs. And plants in the top. The raised beds, we have the zucchinis. The trombello ones are really travelling down the garden. It's getting very hot here now, even though we're at the end of spring. It's very hot. Have some radish, a few onions in each bag. I try to keep different ones in. A few onions in each bag. I try to keep different ones in different areas. You see just a few in each one. Different type of radish. Different type of radish and more onions in this one. There's no soil in here at all. This is purely straw and cut grass. So I did try to sow some radish seeds in this corner, but they need a little bit of something else, I think. You see, tomato plants. Midday here, so if everything looks wilty, you'll know why. Doesn't matter how much you water things in the hot temperature, by lunchtime everything's wilting away. Cucumber, I do have cucumbers on this plant. Here, it's picking. And there's another little one somewhere on here. There's another one here. And I did lots of cucumber seeds coming up in here. Doesn't want to leave my side. Rocket's still going to seed. I'll harvest those soon. I've left the basil here to go to seed. That's why I'm put it in this raised bed. So obviously it will drop in there. And the same with these aubergines. I'm not going to keep aubergines up here, but if they keep coming up, I'll obviously leave them. Then we have peppers, new and old mixed together. Onions. A lot of the lettuce is now going to sprout. A lot of the lettuce is going to seed because it's that time of year. So if you look on my videos, I made lettuce soup to use up a lot of the lettuce before it went to seed. These are doing awesome. These are the yellow sweet melons. I'm really liking that bed there. Lots of tendrils. I haven't investigated to see if there's any little melons coming yet. They're taking over the whole bed. I only planted them less than halfway down. Beetroot is doing really well. That's always like the raised beds. It's beetroot. Back to the zucchini bed. This is the other side, so these are more travelling ones going on here. I've gone in the bucket. As I say, looking a little bit sorry for themselves because it's the highest heat of the day in spring. Harvested all my artichokes. We were debating whether we get more artichokes or not because they don't last forever. That bed is very few of them now, so we'll consider that. Look where my companion's gone. He's under there in the shade now, watching Mike. Lots of oranges coming on one of the orange trees. Full of oranges. They got very confused this year because we had high heat in part of very early spring, end of winter, and all my trees were covered half in blossom and half in oranges. And you'll see here, that's why we've got some tiny oranges. That's why we've got some tiny oranges mixed in with big oranges. This is one of the lavenders I put in a big bag, and that's taken really well there. And that was my rosemary that used to be on my patio with all the other herbs. It was going to flower. I picked the flowers off and that's just continued to grow. It's really tall. That is really tall. And then I planted a few more herbs over here. If you recall, transplanted a couple basil into here just because this is going to be an outside growing area rather than all of the herbs on my patio. Got chives. I've done so well with chives this year. Chives do really well, need a bit of weed. And the mint, this is after I've harvested mint for my mint sauce recipe. So already going back, this is why I say when you harvest mint, leave a lot on the tops. Oh, I've got a little tomato coming in there random. These are tomato plants from last year, re-sprouting. Not much else going on in the tyres because I want to change what I grow here, make these herbs. The bottle farm. I can't remember last video if I said I'd sown some seeds or I'd sown some seeds. So let me show you those. As you can see, this is my new nursery area. I'm now putting any seeds over here to start growing. So we start with these two. Here we have random fig trees, and in the background here in this big black box we have my climbing red fruit. First rabbit cage, nearest utility block. And I think now I'm going to go and transplant these two sweet corns in my Hugelkultur bed. Two cucumber plants. They grow up the side of this cold frame. And this is the last area of the nursery area. That's the ginger big pot. And these are other items I've just sown, just to fill up any pots that I had some of my homemade compost in. I just sowed some more seeds, and I got to the stage where I can't remember what some of them are, but they're all food to eat. This is my pomelo. That's my date palm that I grew from one of my date seeds, and that's a random tomato plant. Yeah, so I'm just letting all this go to seed, so I have plenty of seed for next year. Purple plum tree. If you recall, I think possibly last time this was in blossom, but with the Coptic wind I don't think we have any produce on there, which doesn't matter because first year you shouldn't have the fruit growing on there anyway. And I took advice from Steve and Tina Jewel channel. Do go and check them out, guys. Steve and Tina Jewel. And they suggested, I said, how do you stop ants running up your fruit trees? And one of the suggestions, which was no cost to us because we already had it, was some of you will say aluminium foil, some of you will say aluminum foil, and some of you will say tin foil. So I've just squeezed that round, and I haven't forgotten to also squeeze it round the stakes. Plum tree. This is looking much more healthy. This main stem here was very stick-like for a long time. As you see, it has leaves, and this offshoot that I'm going to keep most of that. It's always been quite leafed, so that's progressing. This tree doesn't seem to be doing anything much. I'm a little disappointed because this is the one I was very interested in. It probably needs a lot more water. But no change on there since I last showed you it. I think this is a late nectarine. Now where's the trunk and the branches have done nothing, there is growth on the very bottom now. This is the early nectarine, so I'm hoping that's what the difference is between one doing something and one not. That's looking fairly healthy. The early peach tree continues to do extremely well, but again everything fell off that with the Coptic storm. But we're not worried about that because you shouldn't be having fruit really from it so young. You should take it off, so that's okay. Late peach hasn't done anything, but let's hope that's because it shouldn't be doing anything because it's a late peach. Nothing at all. I took advice from Ashley's allotment diary when I said if they don't do anything, what should you do? And he suggested flooding it with lots of water for a couple of days and then see if any changes happen. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to get lots of water on the land. That's another story which I will share as time goes on. This is one of the mulberry type trees. That's doing very well there. There was some fruit on there, but again the Coptic wind blew it away. I think you saw the fruit in the last video on that one. And then the other one, which is a different colour, this is doing really well, but lack of water. I'm concerned about these. You should see. There's a lot of fruit on here. They look a bit shriveled. The trees are leafing in different levels of leafness. Pomegranate tree, this is one of many. Not only going to flower, but we've got little pomegranates coming. Final area I'm showing you today is I've got a few pots left over here, few pots left here. The yellow peppers, I think these are carrots. That's more loofahs that are doing better in a pot. The onions I might transplant, just a few there. Malabar spinach, the endives that were in here I used for another soup, and I've put in there, in case you're wondering what white flowers are, that is actually a basil going to seed. So obviously in there, seeds were dropping there. These are my herbs, so we have dill, chives, more basil, more chives. I have been cutting the seed flowers off to drop the seeds. More chives, more chives. That is another rosemary and more chives. Here are the chives that I'm saving for seed. You can see I've tied them upside down and they will die back and the seed will drop in the pot. The jar's better if you don't have many. We have thyme, oregano. I have 3 pots of parsley there. Some of my cuttings, which I'll update you on next video because I think this is getting a little long, and another one of my lavender that looks like that's going to go to seed as well. So check out my back videos if you want to see how I started a lot of these things growing, and until next time, Meraki.